Absolute chaos at Ibrox. Russell Martin's tearing up the squad. Souttar's future hangs by a thread. And Conor Coady's waiting in the wings like a wrecking ball in boots. And just when you think the madness stops, Rangers are on the verge of bringing in Luuk de Jong, a goal machine with Champions League pedigree, on a free. If you want passion, fire, and every scrap of truth the mainstream won't dare touch, hit that subscribe button. No fluff, no filters, just the raw, roaring reality from inside Ibrox. You'll never see Rangers news the same way again. This isn't a warning, this is the announcement. The fire alarm's already screaming. Russell Martin, formally put on notice after one friendly at Ibrox. That's it. That's how ruthless it is. Welcome to Rangers, son, where draws aren't just unacceptable. They're basically an insult. You saw it. Club Brugge, a half-empty preseason squad, half-fit leg, still got booed off at halftime. Booed off. That's not cruelty, that's the standard. That's Ibrox, that's what separates us from the Sunday League operation across the city. Now the press, Hugh Keevins, that fossil with a typewriter, says Martin's in a world of non-negotiables. Of course he is. He's Rangers manager. He's not some caretaker at Kilmarnock. This is the biggest job in the country and it eats the weak alive. And let's no pretend he's got all the time in the world. He does nay. Competitive matches start this month, Champions League qualifiers, Old Firm derby looming in August. You win them, you plant the flag. You lose, you're already hanging by a thread. There were a few signings, some tidy players, but the honeymoon's over before it started. Russell Martin's win ratio before this? 39.77%. That's not inspiring. That's not even safe. And what's this nonsense about winning ugly? That should be the Celtic motto. We don't win ugly. We win with fight, steel, and blood in the socks. But fine. If winning ugly gets us over the line, so be it. Just win. You think the Celtic manager would survive a 2-2 draw at home in his first game? Of course he would. Media would call it a decent start. The cameras would pan to Lennon nodding approval from the stand. But Martin? Nah, one draw and they're sharpening the knives already. How many more gaffers are we gonna watch get thrown to the wolves after one stumble? How long are you supposed to build anything if one friendly is all it takes to light the torches? Tell me, how many draws before the press start whispering crisis? Oh, here we go again. Another Rangers rebuild, another sacrificial lamb. This time, John Souttar's the one with the bullseye on his back. Russell Martin isn't messing about. 6 signings already, and now, boom, Conor Coady is rumored to be next through the door. A great leader, they say. Brilliant, great leader. Pity for Souttar, who's just come off the best season of his injury-riddled life. 40 appearances, over 3,000 minutes, blood, sweat, and bone fragments on the pitch. And what does he get? A nice wee seat on the bench, while we chase a 31-year-old Coady who couldn't get a sniff at Leicester last season. But here's the reality. Martin wants a ball-playing center back, someone who can ping a diagonal without launching it into the Govan stand. And if the stats are gospel, then Coady's passing numbers make Souttar look like he's trying to play in wellies. More passes, better accuracy, more touches, recoveries, all that fancy modern stuff. But let's no ignore this. Souttar wins duels. Air, ground, doesn't matter. The lad gets stuck in. Coady, 51% aerial success. In Scotland. That's asking to get bullied by St. Mirren's third choice striker. Still, I get it. We've got Panathinaikos breathing down our necks, and the back line's leakier than a Celtic press officer after a penalty decision. Coady brings calm, composure, and he's no stranger to pressure. The SFA can throw all the dodgy decisions they want. Coady's seen worse in Wolverhampton, and as if that bombshell wasn't enough, Luuk de Jong, you read that right. Rangers eyeing up the Dutch journeyman who's scored more goals than the entire Celtic front line combined, but only when he feels like it. 34 years old, a career stretching across Barcelona, Sevilla, PSV, and somehow Newcastle. But don't hold that last bit against him. Nobody scores at Newcastle unless their name's Shearer. 18 goals, 13 assists last season. You can't argue with that. Even at his age, he still bullies defenders and nods and crosses like he's on autopilot. And more importantly, he's free. That's right, no transfer fee, nada, zero. Sweet deal, short term, low risk, high reward. While Celtic fans are still pretending Maida's a complete striker after disappearing in Europe again, we could be bringing in a seasoned Champions League campaigner. Imagine De Jong rising at the back post in a European night at Ibrox. Now that's a sight. So here's the reality. Souttar's on thin ice. Desires and Igamane might be packing bags. Martin's no here to play nice or hand out sentimentality medals. He's building a team to win now. But ask yourself this, does loyalty mean anything in football anymore? Or is it all just stats, spreadsheets, and throwing players under the bus? If you haven't seen yesterday's video yet, you're missing out. Explosive news about Rangers that'll leave every fan stunned. Go check it out now.